around the block, ran away from home, I ain't going back. There ain't nothing for me there, I swear.
Okay, welcome back to the channel. A lot has happened since I last saw you.
I got a flat on one of the tires for the trailer. I also just hit the point of where I'm seeing beware of bear signs.
I not only crossed state lines once,
So I just made it to the Alabama River.
but I did it twice.
I just entered Mississippi. Let's go.
I got caught in the rain.
Man, what a rough night. It got dark. My headlamp was no longer useful. Like, the rain just, I couldn't see 5 feet in front of me. So I found this field and I set up my tent desperately. Let me show you what it looks like on the inside. So yeah, it's really wet. You can see that's the inside of the tent. That's my towel that I threw down to catch some of that water. There's my pad. But it's pretty wet. My rain gear back there is still wet. What a night.
I am currently at this park somewhere in Mississippi. Can't remember the name. And I'm not alone. My friend Rachel joined me. So we'll show her in a second. She got a very crazy story to tell you. Something that happened a couple nights ago. And as promised, I wanted to talk about gear in this video. So let me talk to you about what's behind me.
So, as far as shelter, my tent is the REI Groundbreaker 2 tent. It is discontinued, so you can no longer buy it, but it is a pretty sweet tent. I've really come to like it. Looks really good. I love the green color. The white looks good too. There's my towel drying on the back. Like I said, I got caught in the rain. Everything's still a little wet, but there's a walk around of the tent. So it is a single door tent. You can see there's no door on the other side. It has these mesh pockets, one in that corner and one in that corner. My sleep setup is fairly simple. This is a 30-degree sleeping bag. I have a liner in there. It is the Kelty Galactic 30, I think it's what it's called. My pillow right now, when it's not too cold, because I found this to be the most comfortable option, is this throw blanket that I keep wrapped up and bungeed to hold its shape. And then my sleeping pad, I just picked this up, is the Nemo Switchback. You can see the name right there. So now that I've talked about my shelter and my sleep setup, let me talk to you about my smaller gear, my other gear that helps me get through the day. Okay, first up, let's talk about power supply. I have this Nature Power power bank. I believe it's good for about 2, maybe 1.5 charges. And then there are 2 USB outlets, one right here, one right here. And there is a solar panel on the back. It has never worked for me. I think it's just for show. And then my newest one is this Goal Zero Venture 35. Pretty nice, very durable. It's supposed to be waterproof when it has this cover on. And you can see here there are also 2 USB ports and a USB-C that can both charge the battery itself and other things. So you can actually charge 3 things with this one power bank. I bought this as a kit. It was $150, so it also came with this solar panel. And this has been a game changer. Riding 6 to 8 hours a day in full sun, it can pretty much charge up one of these battery packs almost all the way full. You can either charge things directly from it or charge the power banks. And that is my power supply. Next up, we have my cook set. So let's start with my cookware. This is a GSI brand mess kit. Has a handle on the back that can be positioned. Here's a plate. And then here is the pot. I think it can hold about 3 cups of water, something like that. And then here I have my utensils. This is a bamboo utensil kit. Comes with a knife, fork, spoon, straw, and chopsticks. Bought this from REI. I think they're also discontinuing this too, which is unfortunate because this is like one of the best alternatives if you don't want plastic or metal. And then here is my favorite thing I've purchased so far. So here is the MSR backpacking stove combo kit. Inside it has the stove itself. It's very compact. Very, very cool. Came with this little pot grabber for what this came with. It works. You can keep an MSR fuel tank in it. And then here is the pot. And here is another cup / measuring cup. And that is my cook setup. So lastly, I just wanted to talk about some smaller things that I didn't want to overlook because they come in really useful all the time. First up is lighter, of course, easy one. Crescent wrench. I have this multi-tool, bike tool. Mainly the reason why I got this tool, it was for the chain breaker itself right here. Very nice to have when you do need to break chain. My multi-tool. This is just the Gerber brand. And then 2 of the most important items that I've used are this headlamp. My light on my bike isn't very bright, so this also acts as a headlight at night. And then my most favorite item ever are these Beats earbuds. The ends are magnetic. You can see right here they're connected. So this basically turns into a necklace when you're not listening to music. These are my favorite earbuds of all time. And I use these almost every day. And that is my smaller gear. Important. They shouldn't be overlooked. Each one of these things matters so much on the road. So now that I've talked to you about my gear, I want to introduce you to my friend Rachel once she wakes up. She's in that car sleeping over there, and when she comes out, I want her to tell you about the experience or encounter, whatever it was that she had a couple nights ago. It's very interesting. Here we have my friend Rachel.
Hi.
We met in Montana on the Montana Conservation Corps. It's a trail crew, backcountry trail crew. And I wanted her to tell you a little bit about what happened a couple nights ago. So let's start with, where were you heading? What was the location?
So I was on the way through Louisiana on my road trip back home from Montana. I live in Maryland. and I decided I was going to stay in the Kitsuchi National Forest in Louisiana. I get to the National Forest, it's this dirt road that goes back about 6 miles, and I was back there by myself, didn't see any other vehicles, no other people in sight.
What time was this?
Oh, this was 11:30 at night.
So it was already dark while you were heading back down this road.
It was already dark.
You found like a little pullover spot.
Yeah.
You set up your car, and then you started getting ready to just sleep for the night. And then what was the first sense that you got that something was wrong?
I started feeling this impending sense of doom. Just like, that's the best way to describe it. Something wasn't right, and I could feel it, I could sense it. My body was like, nope, you gotta get out of here, but I decided to stick it out anyways. I sleep in my car, so I put my window coverings up, got over into my bed, and I laid there for probably 15 minutes trying to stick it out. Once I started laying down and just relaxing, I started to notice a few things that like maybe didn't really notice when I was driving, but the forest was dead silent. Like no bugs, no animals scurrying around.
You heard nothing. Like,
nothing.
Was there not even wind noise? Like,
no, I didn't even hear the wind. It was so silent that my ears were ringing.
Wow. It was just dead silent.
Dead silent, nothing.
And so what did you start hearing?
So after a little bit, the silence was creeping in, and I started hearing whispering. But as I said before, I didn't see any other vehicles back this road. It was super late. There was nobody else around me, but I started hearing this whispering. It sounded like it was far off in the distance. I just thought nothing of it. I was like, whatever, maybe it's just the wind and my ears are playing tricks on me. But I turned music on to help me sleep, just to like block out. But what freaked me out is when I started playing music, I could still hear the whispering. It sounded like it was coming. Like usually you can kind of pinpoint a direction that a sound is coming from, but it sounded like it was all around me. But you would think that something that quiet you wouldn't be able to hear once you started playing music or whatever.
Did it seem like it got louder?
Not really. It kind of kept saying it like an even
The
volume.
same thing. It was just so like apparent that it was unavoidable.
Yeah, it was very obvious.
Wow.
So 15 minutes go by and I'm just like, screw this. I can't do it anymore. It's too weird.
And then you went and found like a hotel for the night, you said.
For reference, I've slept in national forest land the whole way across the country at this point. Like from Maryland to California, I've slept in different national forests.
Nothing like this has
ever happened before. I've always felt comfortable sleeping there.
And what was this national forest you were at? It was in Louisiana.
Yeah, the Kitsuchi, I believe is how you see it. The only national forest in Louisiana.
And so while you were at this hotel, you were saying you couldn't sleep, so you went ahead and started looking things up, and you found this. I'll try to put a picture of it so you know what I'm talking about. You can read it yourself. But you found this Reddit post, and what was this post saying? Like, if you can remember.
This guy had been riding his ATV at night in the same national forest that I was in, by himself. And while he was back there, he got the same impending sense of doom. And I think he said it was pretty late at night, too.
He also heard nothing.
He said it was super silent. He said, like, as he was going over the hills, this impending sense of doom just kept getting stronger and stronger. And then he actually saw something. So I didn't see anything. It was just
You just
hearing
heard and
hearing
felt
and
something.
feeling. But he actually saw something. He said it was like this
About 6 foot
roughly
tall.
6 foot tall creature standing on its hind legs. And he said it actually started chasing him while he was riding on the ATV, which is
So his first thought was just to try to outrun it on the ATV, and he felt it and he heard it chasing him, and he said at some points he felt like his shirt was being
pulling
pulled.
on his back.
Yeah, he said it was a 6 foot tall humanoid. He said it looked crooked. It was like, I think, brown and white color in color. And he also heard the whispering, and he got out of there, and he sounded completely serious from what he was saying. He was saying, this is not a joke. This is a warning. Like, do not go into this forest at night by yourself. Like, the next person may not be so lucky.
Yeah, and I feel like some people would read his story and say, oh, it's bullshit. He's making that up.
Yeah, but you didn't even know that story going into this forest. You got there.
No clue until I got to the hotel afterwards.
And you experienced it firsthand, and like word for word, you felt the sense of dread. That's exactly the first thing you said to me when you were telling me about this. And then you heard the whispering, and it was in that same forest. And then come to find out that whatever that was, this guy actually saw it.
Yep.
And yeah, also heard no crickets, no nothing. Nothing was making sound. So whatever's in there,
Don't mess with it.
stay out of that forest, at least at night.
Don't mess with it. Ray can back up what I'm saying here, but I was actually shaking when I started telling him the story last night.
Yeah.
That's how freaked out I was.
Yeah, it
over
was
this
hard
whole
for you. It was
situation.
hard for you to say it, and like every little sound, both of us were just like checking everything out. I wish I would have recorded it then. That would have been awesome. But
first
here we are.
reactions.
Yeah, here we are the next morning, talking about a possible cryptid. Thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah, thank you.
I thought it would be very interesting to include that in this video. I hope you enjoyed the conversation and everything we talked about. Very interesting. I'm glad she made it out of there okay. We just parted ways. She's heading back to Maryland. I'm still on my way. I think I'm about halfway now, so good news there. Now let's hear some words again. Kids who grow up in chaotic and unstable homes grow up to be only comfortable in chaos. That is a quote that was told to me, and it explained much about how I handle things. Unfortunately, I was one of those kids. And now, as an adult, anytime I start to feel my life settle or become a little too predictable, I spark up something new. I have this habit of putting myself through hardships, ones that wouldn't even be there in the first place. It's like I have this constant crave for change. And with constant change comes lack of stability. However, although the environment around me may be chaotic at times, all of the challenges and obstacles that I've overcome, all of that experience I bring with me. I've learned how to take stability with me. Anyone that has ever supported me or gave me that extra push that I needed to get over something, those are the same people that are pushing me over these hills, guiding me through the forest, and helping me get past the rain. I bring those people with me too. Life was never meant to be easy. You're going to experience chaos at some point in your life. But there are ways to find calmness through the chaos. And you will. Even you have to earn your own trust. And once you do, you can overcome anything. Thank you for watching.